Waiting for a couple of minutes for more attendees to join. We'll be starting soon in 2 minutes' time. So grab a cup of coffee and get comfortable as we delve into the issue of practical guide for migrating to Atlassian Cloud. Um, a very good morning to everyone. I, Tejas Kamli, Marketing Manager APAC, welcome you all on behalf of AdTech and Atlassian. We have many things in store for you today. We hope to add value to your DevOps and ALM journey. So today we have with us esteemed guests from Atlassian as well as AdTech. A warm welcome to Robert Bannerman, General Manager, Southern Asia Atlassian, Scott Co Davis, Senior Solutions Engineer, APAC Atlassian, Vicky Charisma, Solution Architect, Atlassian, and Uday Kumar, Senior Management Consultant, ALM and DevOps from AdTech. As attendees, you will all be on the mute mode throughout the presentation. The Q&A session will be followed post the opening up of the session for attendee Q&A. Till that time, in case you have any queries, you can use the Ask Question option in the chat mode, wherein you can drop in the questions, which will be taken up by me post the presentations are over. So, with no further ado, I would call upon Robert for his keynote presentation. Robert, all yours.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I hope you're all well and safe during this period of uncertainty. Atlassian Cloud adoption in India is one of the highest in the world. In fact, it accounts for more than 2/3 of our bookings. More than 125,000 customers are currently using Atlassian Cloud, and more than 90% of our new customers each quarter are choosing a cloud product. Customers like Hotstar, Swiggy, Paytm, Infosys, Tata Motors are all choosing Atlassian Cloud because we help them get started quickly with POCs and deployments, decrease time to value. You don't need to invest time procuring hardware and installing software, configuring and securing that software, etc. It's easily to scale up and down as business needs shift. You can offload maintenance for updates to Atlassian, and importantly, you only have to pay for what you need. In many ways, though, we're just getting started. Atlassian engineers are feverishly working on dedicated support and more enterprise capabilities like unlimited user access, 99.95 uptime service level agreements backed with service level credits, a sandbox, and data residency. Right now, that's available in the United States and in Europe, and we're working hard to bring that to India and the Southern Asia territory very quickly. COVID-19 has certainly changed the way many organizations run their businesses to ensure the safety of their workforce, their customers, and keep IT operations running. Most IT leaders that we've spoken with are also thinking about how to adapt and rapidly change in alignment with those changing conditions across all geographies and all industries and across all territories. We continue to hear that Atlassian Cloud is helping with that and also delivering tangible benefits. Atlassian Cloud, again, enables our customers to act faster, continue to innovate, and pivot with their IT operations to what matters most. And even though you're all facing very unique challenges, there are many common goals. I will highlight the top three that we've come across. First, cloud-based productivity and remote collaboration to enable workers and IT professionals and developers to work from anywhere, be that at home or otherwise. Number two, IT budgets will be constrained over the coming year. Optimization of existing cloud investments and improving cash flow via migration to Atlassian Cloud are top of mind. Our customers are exploring ways to run their businesses with reduced IT budgets and staff. Owning and managing on-premise data centers is expensive, and it makes customers vulnerable to business continuity risks. An Atlassian Cloud migration approach, though, is certainly resonating with these customers and helps them transition their spend from CapEx to OpEx, or operational expenses, thus improving cash flow and reducing business risk. And number three, downtime is also becoming an important opportunity to accelerate projects. CIOs are looking at this as an opportunity to deliver planned projects and find ways to innovate with Atlassian Cloud. They are counting on this innovation to help their businesses experience a quick recovery as they exit from a period of isolation and uncertainty. In many customer discussions, we still hear there's uncertainty about how to navigate the Atlassian Cloud migration journey. There is an urgency to act, but often a hesitation to start. There is no doubt a learning curve, but Atlassian solution partners like AdTech have traversed it many times with many customers. Businesses need best practices and prescriptive guidance on where to begin, how to best steer, and how to avoid pitfalls, and today's webinar will cover a lot of this with you.
The growing Indian market. AdTech, along with Atlassian, has been a key contributor to this domain as Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner. With this, I would briefly like to introduce AdTech to you guys. I can see that some people are mentioning about the screen not visible. So our technical team will definitely help you out with them, with the problems that you are facing. So moving ahead, talking about AdTech is a 14 years plus experience company in DevOps and ELM. And we at AdTech believe that knowledge is at the core of any domain. With Atlassian ecosystem and the AdTech solution building, we foster collaborations for adding value to build services in DevOps and ALM. At AdTech, we help our clients realize optimum team productivity and achieve sustainable competitive advantage by envisioning and executing technology-enabled operations strategy. We help our customers through the evolution and transformation journey for achieving operational delivery excellence. As Atlassian Platinum Solution Partners and AWS Select Consulting Partners, we help them in various ways, like leveraging frameworks and tools for orchestration, automation, and delivery management. We do this across all types of organizations, be it agile, traditional, or multi-speed IT enterprises. So let us look at how AdTech has been adding value to our customers. To give you a brief, we have two customer success stories over here. The first one is for Wall Street English. So it is a case of business demerger, which triggered separate systems for the newly formed unit, that is Wall Street English WSE. As part of the Atlassian ALM and DevOps systems had to be separated, and we helped WSE in the entire process, right from providing consulting to implementation services for a smooth transition with minimal downtime. Our solution helped WSE to map a path for demerger to migrate to the Atlassian Cloud. We also help them out with various data migration approaches that will best work in their current scenario, as well as help them out with unwanted data. AdTech team also did a detailed study of the apps that were used within the instance, in the server instance, and also suggested suitable alternatives wherever the apps were not supported in the cloud version. Looking at the next case study, we offered services in migration to one of our customers who is into providing solutions to the BFSI segment. They are into conduct risk and increase customer lifetime value solutions, and which are very mission critical as well as are of great importance. So AdTech helped them with the merger of instance and migration to a single Jira Cloud instance. We help them with evaluating the entire scenario and providing possible solutions that they can adopt, and provided them with a roadmap for the implementation. With our solution, the customer was able to move from a 10-year-old end of life server instance to a latest updated version on the Atlassian Cloud, from multiple instance to a single instance with a single source, from 2,000 half-assured projects to 400 standardized projects, multiple sources to track, single source to track, broken traceability to an end-to-end traceability, and from a multiple integration with third-party apps to a single integration with third-party apps. So this comes to the question, why is AdTech a preferred choice? Well, AdTech has partnered with a lot of customers across its 4 years in the global industry. Atlassian has been one of the key reasons where AdTech has been a platinum solution partner for Atlassian and is one of the top Atlassian platinum solution partners in the world. We also are a AWS Select Tier partner in infrastructure management and automation. AdTech has been a top vendor and a verified vendor in the Atlassian marketplace with 8 plus Atlassian verified plugins that have been released by us. We have presence in US, Singapore, Malaysia, and India, and have an esteemed client base across enterprises as well as SMBs. We serve various global companies across industries. To name a few industries which are top, we have the BFSI segment, the telecom, retail, e-commerce, software and IT industry, and the healthcare industry, to name a few. We can also see that we help customers across various things in the DevOps loop that is here across all phases. Talking about our excellence, we provide solutions across consulting, solution design and implementation, managed services, and 24/7 tech support. We are experts in agile and lean methodologies, ITSM and scaled agile frameworks, solution architects for Atlassian ecosystem, and also delve in enterprise agility along with cloud infrastructure management. To name a few top customers in the Indian market, we have Axis Bank, we have Samsung, Mondelez, Jubilant Foodworks, Book My Show, Virtusa Polaris, HCL, Sharp, Aditya Birla, and Airtel, to name a few. We also have a presence in the Southeast Asian market as well as the US market. To name a few, from the US market, we have top honchos such as T-Mobile, MetLife, Bank of America, Bears Healthcare, and BNY Mellon. Recently, we have expanded our presence in the Southeast Asian market as well, with top names such as Traveloka, Panasonic, Singapore Airlines, Hong Leong Bank, Telstra, and Cognizant under Rakiti. We also work with the Middle East customers and rest of the world. To name a few, we have National Bank of Oman, Zyphon, Sri Lanka Telecom, Alpha Point, and extras under our kitty. To name a few top products from AdTech, which are staff picked from Atlassian, Excellentable, which is a dynamic and collaborative spreadsheet that sits right out of your Confluence setup, Code Factory, which is a managed hosting for all your development tools, and Unstoppable, which makes your Atlassian tools compliant for the visually impaired. So these are few of our products which are top ranked in the Atlassian marketplace. With this brief, I would again welcome you all and a warm welcome from AdTech and Atlassian that is there. I would now request Scott to take the podium and take on the webinar for a practical guide on migrating to Atlassian Cloud. Scott, all yours.
Welcome everyone. I'm Scott, one of the solutions engineers at Atlassian, and I head up our pre-sales team for the APAC region. During my 3 years here, I've seen quite a bit of consolidation and migration scenarios. In fact, so far that's led to over 125,000 customers who have now successfully moved to Atlassian Cloud. And this spans numerous countries as well as logos across the globe. One point of interest, both the fastest migration and one of the biggest migrations were completed here in the APAC region, thanks in large part to our local partners. Today, I wanted to share with you several insights from those experiences embodied by a single persona, Om. Om has used our core products, Jira and Confluence, for a number of years. Along the way, he ensured good governance, kept their setup to a single instance, as well as their versions recent. In fact, the latest enterprise release is already in production. Due to company growth, they've approached the 2,000 user mark, with additional usage anticipated. Everything was running just fine on site through 2019, and then early 2020 decided to impose a completely new definition of normal on us all. Companies who had previously been tentative about leaning harder into the cloud were suddenly rushing through the door. Case in point, Zoom skyrocketed from 10 million daily meeting participants in December 2019 to over 300 million by April 2020. And Atlassian was certainly not immune from those same forces, especially when you look at, number one, working from home meant that users were more distributed than ever before. Number two, a surge of remote access that immediately taxed VPN configurations from many organizations. And number three, both of those combining to shorten the usual windows for any maintenance as workers' habits changed. None of these had ever been factored into the original design or sizing to keep things running. In short, some IT systems began to struggle fast. Alm had seen updates from Atlassian in recent months on its SaaS offering and decided to do some additional research. Enter Atlassian Cloud. It sounded appealing, but how to get there? For that matter, where to begin? So many questions. After some searching on Atlassian's website, Om finally found a good starting point. Using the Migration Center, he was able to distill 7 key insights that we'll see next. As any new questions came up, though, he would always come back to here. Om segmented things into 2 main areas: how best to plan on the left and assess on the right. Planning included starting a formal review for his InfoSec team, as these alone sometimes take weeks. Conducting a full analysis of any and all customizations or add-ons in use, also taking a good amount of time. Investigating migration paths available and their associated tooling and trade-offs. And finally, ensuring that their SSO needs are still met once they transitioned into Atlassian Cloud. On the assessment front, Om discovered that they could fire up an extended trial straight away to help with things across both Atlassian standard and premium tiers to ensure best fit. And once ready, lodge a move ticket to have a cloud migration manager assigned. First off, Om's team located everything they needed to finish a thorough security review using our trust site. Hundreds of pages of controls and details were quickly ingested, And these were across standardized information gathering and Cloud Security Alliance questionnaires. They were also happy to see that Atlassian Cloud's infrastructure was built on AWS, tapping into its core high availability and disaster recovery features across global regions. Even at a high level, all of the right check marks were obviously in place. GDPR, encryption at rest, SOC 2 compliance. That meant that the main applications were in good shape, but what about their additional applications? Even with good governance from before, Alm knew it was best to reevaluate all usage of all applications instead of a basic lift and shift. They had to check on things like a full top to bottom inventory of applications they still had. Who was using them? How? And are they still being used? Are they essential? And are there now similar features or alternatives that are available? Ultimately, Atlassian Cloud is a new platform with new features. Spending some time now to verify business needs is best, which is exactly why Alm engaged an Atlassian partner to assist. Once an inventory has been taken and checked, it will also be vetted when examining the tooling to move the underlying information itself. Add-on migration assistance available for your on-prem installs help to track every application status, comparing them across server to cloud, checking that a new version of each app exists, and showing Alm's team top-line metrics to factor in along the way. Of course, migration is a much broader topic than we'll cover today, but Atlassian's assistants provide a solid foundation to test, modify, and implement a number of migration strategies for both Confluence and Jira. With a better sense of how to physically get their data over to Atlassian Cloud, Alm turned next to looking at how best to secure it. Could they still tie into their IDP? What about two-factor authentication? Could they limit access based on IP addresses and so on? How would all of these be tackled going forward? This is exactly what Atlassian Access was created to achieve. A single unified layer of end-to-end security across Jira and Confluence that ties into your existing identity provider. In fact, it does this using key industry standard protocol support such as SAML-based SSO. In fact, most major ones are a simple config change. Alm was definitely glad to see Okta already there. Additional ones are also available through our APIs if necessary. They also wanted to take advantage of the SCIM-based provisioning in Access, which would make day-to-day administration for their user base of over 2,000 much easier by carrying across not only user profile, but group and permission information to all Atlassian Cloud products. On the planning front, things are looking good for Alm's team, but how could they test their findings without double purchasing another set of licenses just for the cloud? And which tier makes the most sense? Was there anyone at Atlassian who could guide them through the final phases? Standard trials are too short for a migration, and nobody wants to pay for an annual fee that's mostly unused. So to help with this, Alm noticed that Atlassian provides an extended cloud trial. These are associated with an existing support entitlement number, or SEN, and align with your current maintenance period. This means they'll finish when your maintenance runs out, up to a maximum of 12 months, and your trial will match your current user tier up to a maximum of 5,000 users, giving you much more runway to shift to Atlassian Cloud. Trials happen above and beyond any free sites in use and can be done either at the standard tier or the premium tier, which yields a guaranteed SLA, unlimited storage, and a growing list of features such as the IP allow list that Alm was looking for. Across all of these, Atlassian Access ensures wall-to-wall coverage for all users. It also puts Alm in position to look at Atlassian's enterprise tier once available. With the trial now in place, Alm and his team can explore the new UI and mobile apps that are available for Atlassian Cloud. This works across Jira software as well as Jira Service Desk projects without any VPN required. As a result, we've had a number of customers comment on how the mobile app alone drives adoption further across their organizations, especially with business and executive users. Further stepping up to the premium tier provides built-in options to archive projects in Jira, something they were lacking on Server. Archive projects are retained as read-only, so any links and macros continue to work. However, they're pulled from the underlying index to help improve performance. Automation in Atlassian Cloud is a no-code rule builder that enables customers to create if this then that rules based on events in Jira. While available in all tiers, Premium includes cross-project and global options not present in Standard, allowing teams to automate a wide range of processes. Moving beyond daily team activities, Premium also includes advanced roadmap capabilities, previously called Portfolio for Jira, that enable multi-team and organization level road mapping and dependency tracking, multiple scenario planning, and capacity planning. With these, you can track and visualize efforts across all projects. Advanced roadmaps are specifically designed to deal with the number of dependencies across a large body of work. Plus, you can build different versions of a plan in order to account for things like best and worst case scenarios or different strategic options that are available for your organization. Best of all, when you're done, you can push those results directly back into the projects themselves, keeping your teams on track company-wide. Next up with Confluence, which also has an improved UI and mobile app for Atlassian Cloud. You can view activity, find work, and take actions straight away, all while receiving alerts directly from your mobile. In addition, Confluence Premium provides full analytics that shows you how often your pages are viewed and by whom. As your site grows, managing permissions across a large number of users, groups, and spaces can become quite challenging. In Confluence Premium, if you're ever unsure why a user's access levels are off, Inspect Permissions helps you to pinpoint exactly where you need to adjust things, saving a lot of guesswork. As with Jira, Confluence Premium gives you the option to archive pages in order to keep things streamlined. Archiving a page removes it from your page tree, excluding it from quick search, advanced search, and analytics. Links to archive pages will still work. However, these will have an archive lozenge next to it, letting users know. Across all products in Atlassian Cloud, the premium tier provides additional user activity metrics, the option to limit access to your instance by specific IP settings, and soon the ability to automatically spin up a separate sandbox area for testing. When our enterprise tier becomes generally available, we're targeting things such as an increased SLA guarantee over premium, data residency controls, and release tracks. More to come here soon. With enough information now in hand to start things in earnest, finally opens a move ticket with Atlassian. This triggers assignment of a cloud migration manager, a specialized resource in our support organization, to work with Om's team across all phases of the migration effort. As the last step of Om's key insights across planning and assessing, these are clearly useful for any customer contemplating a move into Atlassian Cloud. For more details, be sure to check the cloud migration page listed. We're always putting the learnings of customers to as much use as possible, especially when moving to Atlassian Cloud. Thank you.
Wonderful presentation and the information that you have shared. It definitely gives a lot of heads up on how we can look at migrating to Atlassian Cloud and what are the benefits that can be extracted out of the Atlassian Cloud with its various options. Since we have some time at hand and we have our experts here from AdTech and Atlassian, there is another topic I wanted to touch upon. As we are talking about cloud migrations, there are quite a few myths around it. These are general notions that people carry around about Atlassian Cloud, which needs to be addressed. So I would like our experts to chip in clearly to help us out over here and clear the air around these myths. I would also like to announce that we also have Abhijit from Atlassian as well, who is part of the migrations team from Cloud at Atlassian. And welcome, Abhijit, as well. Talking about the myths, there's one myth with regards to price, that is on-prem is cheaper than cloud. Uday, you are a senior management consultant at AdTech, and you may have been facing this query quite often when it comes to moving and why moving from on-prem is cheaper. Do you have anything to say about this? How can you clear the air around this?
Yeah, sure, Tejas. So yeah, certainly when it comes to cost, Indian customers are definitely very cost sensitive. Okay. Yeah, the problem I have seen some customers in doing the comparison versus Atlassian server licenses versus Atlassian cloud cost, effectively what to be paid to Atlassian. And they don't do the comparison at the TCO level, total cost of ownership. And like Robert and even Scott has mentioned, it's like the server licenses can be, from a financial standpoint, they are around capex, and cloud is Atlassian cloud is certainly opex. And yeah, to clear it, Atlassian cloud is a managed hosting, and it is a SaaS offering on top of the server licenses. Okay, effectively, what Atlassian is giving is it's not only the license, apart from that infrastructure and team to manage the uptime and manage the upgrades, and all are part of this Atlassian cloud offering. And they do have various support packages as well. And like if you compare a premium support package, which is like 24/7 availability and 99.9% uptime. So to maintain this, if for suppose a customer on server who is doing this might need around 7 to 9 members, team members. And apart from that, they need to take care of a lot of infra operations, apart from the infrastructure cost, like monitoring, backups, DR setups, everything. Whereas Atlassian Cloud actually does give all these is out of the box. And so one, if anyone compares these costs now with all these different offerings, definitely everyone will realize that Atlassian Cloud is way cheaper than what is Atlassian server cost along at a TCO level. I hope it clarifies. Thanks, Tejas.
Conversation that is there. On one more point into consideration that arises is people have decided to move to Atlassian Cloud, and that is where this myth generally comes into the picture. The myth is organizations don't need to clean up before moving to cloud. We can just migrate easily and take whatever was there in the previous instance into the cloud instance. But as our experience with customers, we get to see that the house has to be in order before we migrate. This has always been effective. This was clearly seen when we did migrations for various customers like WSE and various others like Xiphon. So we are able to go through from 2000 plus Haphazard projects to 400 projects that really boosted the effectiveness. As a part of the development team from Atlassian, Vicky, what do you have to say about this myth? Is it needed to clean the house before moving and migrating to the Atlassian cloud?
The opportunity to clean up your data, right? So it depends. Like for example, when I had to migrate one of the largest Atlassian server instance to cloud, I just found out like, hey, the application has exists for like 14 years. It has like a more than 10 years of data. And then we have so many projects and so many artifacts that no longer relevant, that was created by persons that no longer in the company. And it was like we end up with something like 1,000 projects and then 40 migrations, because we're going to take it as a cleanup effort, and then we're able to streamline the data into like a 400 project, and we just want to have like a very, very clean slate in the cloud. And it is started as new. I would take it as an opportunity to streamline your data, and every preparations that you made around the data cleanup is going to pay it off around the migrations as well, and also increasing the experience while after you migrating to the cloud.
Definitely, that's a good insight, Vicky, from your side. Also, Abhijit, since you're part of that migration team, have you seen any instances where such kind of scenarios have come up where the cleaning up of the house has been much better and been more effective?
Morning we decide to move to cloud, it really requires to understand, to assess, plan, and have a post cleanup strategy. The more time our customer invests before migration, the better. So from technical perspective, there are a few things which some of these things actually already been called out. So yeah, some of these challenges come up after migration. So I would rather say it's better to invest time in the assessing and planning.
Yeah, thank you, Abhijit, for that input. The next myth that I would like to discuss is regarding the resistance that we generally see out there when people have to migrate to cloud, or when they have to make that decision for migrating to cloud. So basically, it's more of a kind of a attitude where they say that apps aren't available on the cloud, or migration isn't flexible enough to suit their organization. So, Vicky, as a solution architect, what is your take on this myth?
I'm sorry, the connection's cut off. Can you repeat the questions one more time? Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, I was talking about one more myth that arises when people have to migrate or choose upon the Atlassian cloud. They end up giving reasons such as the apps aren't available on the cloud, we prefer the server one, or migration just isn't flexible enough to suit our organization. So as a solution architect, when you come up with such kind of queries or such kind of myths that people have in their mind, how do you deal with them?
Yes, so it is definitely one of the common topic when we are migrating to the cloud, because there is a feature parity between the apps in the server and in the cloud. So it will going to improve over time, right? But so eventually one day it will be the same. So everything that exists in server will exist in the cloud. But the advice that we provided basically try to zoom out. So instead of like doing a feature comparisons, like is like comparing like to like. So I would like to advise to zoom out a little bit, what exactly the feature does and what kind of things that it accomplish. So when you try to zoom out, and you're going to find like either there's a similar functionality, or it could be achieved by a slightly different way. But essentially, there is almost always a ways to achieve the same goals that you want to do with the apps.
And
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry,
Just
this
to
is
add to
Robert here.
Robert.
I'll elaborate on that just a little bit to give the folks on the call some more confidence. We've worked a lot and invested a lot of time and energy over the last 2 years to help build out our marketplace, and we're working with those different marketplace vendors so that their add-ons are available for the cloud. And we're not quite at parity yet, as Vicky mentioned, but we're very, very close, over 90% now. All of the top apps that historically have been available on server are now available in the cloud. So it's worth having a discussion with solution partners like AdTech to figure out what your needs are, and then from there, they can help you with that migration and any planning that needs to happen.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Just one more thing, probably it's relevant because I'm part of the engineering team from Migration Platform. So one of the key priorities what we have is, on little different than app compatibility, but I think it's worth mentioning is one of the highest priority for us this year to focus on app migration and how that can be easier through the tools like JCMA.
Sounds good. So I can see there are a lot of questions coming up in the chat window, and I think let's take those questions up and help these guys out in more information and more value add. So let me see. Okay, so the first question over here that I would like to take upon is from this is from Deepak Gupta. Deepak Gupta has a question about moving from AWS Cloud to Atlassian Cloud, and how can our AdTech or Atlassian solution architects help around in that? So maybe Uday, can you take this question up?
Yeah, I did already answer in the chat box around this. So first of all, to clarify, AWS or GCP or even Azure, they offer IaaS and PaaS, and certainly some SaaS level as well. Whereas Atlassian Cloud is basically hosting of Atlassian applications on top of AWS Cloud is what they do. So it's not like you have a hosting application on GCP, like an SAP application or a CRM application or any other application, and you wanted to move it to Atlassian Cloud. No, it is not possible, because Atlassian Cloud is a SaaS offering. So I think I saw a lot of questions around that. I hope it clarifies. Probably the name is little confusing from, because it's like Google Cloud and Azure Cloud or Microsoft Cloud or AWS Cloud and Atlassian Cloud. But yeah, Atlassian Cloud is only hosting of Atlassian applications on top of AWS Cloud. Even AWS Cloud is abstracted from the users. I hope it answers.
Thank you, Uday, for that.
So Vivek,
Yeah,
go ahead.
please
There's
go.
no worries.
No, no, go ahead, Abhijit. Abhijit, would you like to add anything more to Uday's answer? Okay, so there were two more questions that I could see, which Robert has already answered. They were on the InfoSec details and security information from Satish and Mansi. So, Abhijit, would you like to add anything further? Robert has already provided a link from atlassian.com/trust. So, anything you would like to add on how they can get more information, the security information and InfoSec details?
I mean, what I would say, I don't think I can add anything more than what's written there. So that's a
Yeah.
great set of documentation. You can, there are a lot of things which are whatever. I mean, it's very, I would say, context to context. But that's an amazing website with a lot of information. So I would rather request, to go through that website, and
Okay. Abhijit, one more part over there is asking about comparison. So Uday has to some extent already given the information when it comes to AWS or Google Cloud and comparing it with Atlassian. Uh, any resource link that we can share from Atlassian side, or if you can give some more information or add to it?
Tejas?
Yeah, Uday, you were saying something?
No, it looks like we lost him, right?
Uh, Abhijit, I could hear Abhijit. Yeah. Uh, okay. Thank you, Abhijit, for that. There's one more question from Mansi. Um, sure. So definitely we'll reach out to them with the questions that are there. So one more question from Mansi is, I have 3 e-commerce sites in 3 different countries like USA, South Korea, and India. Can I handle this in one single account? So Uday, would you like to take this question?
No, again, like I said, okay, Atlassian Cloud is not IaaS offering. The e-commerce websites probably might have been hosted on like probably in AWS Cloud or something. Yes, on AWS, you might be able to handle it from a single account, but yeah, it is not in the context of Atlassian Cloud. Let me be very clear.
Okay. Sure. Moving ahead, there's one more question from Satish Sahu. We have an interface TFS4 Jira synchronizer between Jira Server and TFS on-prem. How is it going to be when Jira Server is moved to SaaS? So, I am not very sure if it's related to Atlassian Cloud, but Vicky or Abhijit, if you would like to take up this question. Okay. Maybe.
The app integration. So TFS, it has providing a Jira connectors that connect Jira to the TFS repositories, and I think it's worth double checking with the app vendor to kind of understand if it provides like a like to like compatibilities in the cloud and server. So I think yeah.
Okay. There's one more question from Mr. Prashant. Do you provide data localization in India? So, Uday, would you like to answer that?
No, okay, when it comes to Atlassian Cloud, definitely at this point of time, we can select certain regions. India as a region for the hosting on AWS Cloud is, I don't think it has yet been added, but we can request Atlassian in terms of like, okay, if we want data to be resided on a particular region, then we can request Atlassian and they will be able to confirm us whether they will be able to shift our instance to that region or not.
Yeah, I can confirm on that. So at the moment, like we don't have a data center region in India. So we do have in Singapore, Australia, one in Europe, and the rest is in America. So at the moment, the ways that it works is that we don't have the data residency functionality available. We are actively working on it, and I think it's going to be there very soon. But at the moment, like we don't have a ways to pin your data into a specific region yet.
Sounds good. So I hope Satish Sahu had a question on similar lines. I hope this has answered his question as well on selecting a region for the hosting. Uh, uh, I would take one last question over here, um, which is from Murli. Do I get personal assistant for configuration for my apps and web in US? So, Abhijit or Vicky, would you like to take this question?
So I'm not super clear about this one. Like, so there are a couple of things. One is I can talk about the migrations. So if customers wants to move from say, server to cloud, there are we have launched self-service assistance called JCMA, Java Cloud Migration Assistant, and Cloud CCMA, similar to Cloud Migration Assistant, where you can basically select your projects. It's a very you can come up with a migration plan and you can select to move. So that's one way to look at it when you are thinking about having a self-service application. The second one is if we are talking about configuring the Jira or Confluence itself. So there are features which obviously, yeah, you have a lot of capabilities to configure Jira and Confluence to your the way you want.
Okay.
Where can you find details about JCMA and CCMA? It's in the cloud migration site. Sorry, Tejas, I saw that particular
Yeah,
question
I
and
was
I answered
I
it.
was
So
going to add that. No problem.
yeah, so our team actually owns the JCMA. So feel free to reach out to us if you need any other technical details. Yeah, sure. I'll provide the URL for it.
Sure. So I hope all your queries have been answered over here, guys. In case there are any follow-up queries or things that you would like to further discuss in detail, you can definitely reach out to us at adtech at sales@adtech.com or marketing@adtech.co.in. We'll be definitely reaching out to you guys as a feedback that will be there. We also have a quiz competition that is going on in this webinar, which will be available in the feedback forms itself. The link is available as a quiz and feedback form within your windows that is there, so you guys can fill that up and you can stand a chance of winning vouchers from us for Amazon of 1,000 rupees. Just from that perspective, we also have few goodies that we want to give out to people who have participated in the Q&A session over here. It was a wonderful Q&A. To announce the first good engagement in the Q&A session prize that goes out to Satish Sahu, who has been posting out quite a few questions. So congratulations, Satish Sahu. The team will reach out to you separately offline for your voucher details. The second winner is over here is Murli, who has also shown a good engagement. The third winner is Mr. Prashant TN, who will be getting an engagement voucher as well. And the fourth one goes out to Mansi for her question. So Mansi is another winner. So our team will reach out to you guys for your vouchers details, as well as other people still have a chance to enter the quiz competition that is there in the feedback forms. So please submit your feedback forms. There are 15 more vouchers that can be won by the participants. So please feel free and answer those questions in the feedback form and get the 1,000 rupees AWS voucher from our side. So thank you, guys. It was a wonderful audience from you all for this webinar today, and hope so we have addressed and given out valuable information for your DevOps and ALM journey. Do reach out to us in case you have anything further to discuss. So thank you all and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, all the experts, for joining in. Thank you again. Bye-bye.